There's a day that comes, a moment of clarity, when you look back at everything that happened with the narcissist and you see it differently. Not through the fog anymore, not through their version of reality, but clearly, with your own eyes, your own truth. And you realize something that changes everything. They didn't break you. Your silence saved you. For so long, you thought your silence was weakness. You thought it meant they won. That by not fighting back, by not defending yourself, by not trying to make them see reason, you were giving up, surrendering, letting them destroy you. You felt ashamed of your silence, like you should have spoken it more, fought harder, made them understand, made them take accountability, made them see what they were doing. And because you didn't, because you eventually just went quiet, you thought that meant you were broken. But you weren't. Your silence wasn't surrender. It was survival. It was strategy. It was wisdom your conscious mind didn't even know you had. You went silent because somewhere deep inside you knew. You knew that nothing you said would change them. You knew that every word you spoke would be twisted, used against you, turned into ammunition. You knew that defending yourself only gave them more material to attack you with. You knew that trying to make a narcissist see reason is like trying to hold water in your hands. Impossible, exhausting, futile. So you stopped trying, not because you gave up on yourself, but because you finally understood that some battles can't be won, and the only way to survive them is to stop fighting. Your silence was protection. Every time you chose not to respond, you were protecting yourself from more gaslighting, more manipulation, more twisting of your words, more rewriting of reality. Every time you chose not to explain yourself, you were refusing to give them more ways to hurt you. Your silence was power, real power, not the kind that dominates or controls, but the kind that refuses to engage in a rigged game, the kind that walks away from a fight that has no rules, the kind that knows that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. They wanted you to fight. They wanted you to react. They wanted you to get emotional, to lash out, to defend yourself desperately, because that's what gave them supply. That's what fed them. Your pain, your anger, your fear, your desperate attempts to make them see you as human. But when you went silent, you cut off their supply. You stopped giving them what they needed. And that silence? That drove them crazy. Because they couldn't feed off of nothing. They couldn't twist silence. They couldn't use it against you the way they could use your words. Your silence broke their cycle. And maybe it felt like it broke you in the process. Maybe it felt like you were shutting down, giving up, becoming a shell of yourself. And in a way, you were. But that shutting down, that was your system protecting you from further damage. You weren't broken. You were conserving energy, pulling back, creating distance, building walls they couldn't penetrate. Your silence was your body's way of saying, I can't engage with this anymore. It's not safe. So I'm closing the door. And here's what you realize now, looking back. Your silence gave you space. Space to think clearly without their voice in your head constantly. Space to feel your own feelings without them telling you your feelings were wrong. Space to remember who you were before them. Space to start planning your escape even if you didn't consciously know that's what you were doing. Your silence allowed you to observe. To see patterns you couldn't see when you were busy defending yourself. To recognize the manipulation for what it was. To understand that nothing you said or did would ever be enough because they weren't interested in resolution. They were interested in control. Your silence preserved your sanity. Because if you'd kept engaging, kept explaining, kept trying to make them understand, you would have lost yourself completely. You would have internalized their version of reality. You would have started to believe their lies. You would have forgotten your own truth. But by going silent, you held on to something. Some small piece of yourself that they couldn't reach, that they couldn't twist, that they couldn't break. And that piece? That's what you rebuilt from. That's the seed that grew into your freedom. The day you realize this, everything shifts. The shame you felt about your silence transforms into pride. You weren't weak. You were wise. You weren't broken. You were strategic. You weren't giving up. You were taking your power back in the only way that was available to you. Your silence wasn't the end of you. It was the beginning of your healing. It was the first boundary you set, even if you didn't recognize it as one at the time. It was you choosing yourself over their need for engagement. It was you refusing to participate in your own destruction. And now, with distance, you can honor that silence. Think it, recognize it for what it was. Not cowardice, but courage. The courage to disengage. The courage to preserve yourself. The courage to stop fighting an unwinnable fight. The narcissist didn't break you. They tried. They gave it everything they had. They used every weapon in their arsenal. But you're still here. Still standing. Still you. And that's not because you're lucky. That's because your silence saved you. So if you're in that silence right now, if you've gone quiet with someone who's hurting you, if you feel weak for not fighting back, hear this. Your silence is not weakness. Your silence is wisdom. Your silence is your survival instinct protecting you in the only way it can. And if you're on the other side of it, if you've escaped and you're looking back wondering why you didn't speak up more, fight harder. Make them understand. Stop wondering. Your silence was exactly what you needed. It was your strength when you had nothing else left. It was your way out when no other path was clear. The narcissist did not break you. They couldn't. Because when they pushed, you didn't break. You bent. You pulled back. You went quiet. And that silence? That saved you. That silence was your power. That silence was your way of saying, you don't get to take this from me. You don't get to destroy this part of me. I'm keeping it safe. I'm protecting it, even if it means going silent. And you were right. You did keep it safe. That part of you that went silent, it's still there. Stronger now. Wiser now. Free now. Because your silence saved you. Thanks for watching. Did your silence save you too? Share your story in the comments. Your truth might free someone else. And if you're in the silence now, trust it. It's protecting you. It's saving you. Keep going. Subscribe to keep healing together. You will stand again.